But what happened in Ashanti?
Randy, it's difficult to tell now. There are a lot of interpretations. I think the party in Ashanti, General Party, has to just take a sober reflection of what has occurred and do a very deep, in-depth analysis of the figures. It's unusual. It's unusual. 1.2 million people basically not coming out to vote. It's unusual. The NDC virtually maintained their base in Ashanti region and even went up a little bit. I mean, it was anticipated based on the increase in the total number of voters. They did well to maintain their base. As to why people generally did not come out to vote, I think that is something that we have to delve deep into and have a very... I watched my senior brother Eugene say that open heart surgery, very frank discussion on various platforms, counter accusations here and there. Now, which is normal.
I mean, in Ashanti region, the seats that were safe. We know the seats that NDC's won before.
Yes.
NDC's come close to.
Yes.
Those seats when NDC wins, it really is not news.
Of course.
If you take the
Ashanti,
Ejura, those seats, they are not an issue. But my boy Achi's place.
That was one of the shocks.
How did that happen?
That's one of the shocks. You know, apparently the last election, the MP won with the difference about 2,000.
2,000 votes.
2,000 votes. Now that particular area, the Jama area, it's a farming community. There are a lot of farming areas. So there are a lot of influx of other people, non-indigenous in there. But generally, it's an area that we've always maintained, especially when the president had gone there to commission a new district hospital just about a week to the election, you know, and he had been able to connect about 3 or 4 towns which had never seen electricity. He had been able to connect them onto the national grid. We felt that that was an area that we should maintain. So when I heard the result, I was a little bit shocked. In fact, even Obuasi East, that's one
what happened
area.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. We all have to take our time and come out with exactly what had happened. I know Obuasi East, there's some challenge still ongoing, but Akufrom is a place we've also not lost before. Although it's a mixed bag in that area, but all the time we are able to sail through. Akufrom, Adansi Asokwa, which is Katie's area. It's not an area that we normally struggle to win, you know. So the Adansi areas was a big challenge. Akufrom, Obuasi East, and even Obuasi West, Kweku Kwatim, won, but the margin was a little bit down. Indeed, what really shocked me was even Offenso South. Offenso North, always the difference has been 2,000, 3,000 because of the influx of non-indigents. But Offenso South is a typical Akan-dominated area that normally we feel very comfortable with. This time around, he won, but the drop was quite significant. And so, as I said, we just have to sit down and analyze the issues very well and see the way forward. Nobody, I doubt if anybody anticipated the extent of the loss. I mean, all the research that I had read gave me an inclination that we're going to have some challenge with the presidential. And even some personal research, talking to people that we did, the members of parliament were doing quite well than the candidates. But I did not expect the extent of the damage. Look at what happened in Western region. Shocking. Secondly, Takrady. Takrady township itself. We lost Shama. We lost Kwesimintim. We lost Secondly itself. You know, my very good friend Sani in Poho. We lost in Poho. And then the Lembeles and Co, which are more traditional NDC. Clearly, something really had occurred that maybe the party did not take a critical look at going into this election.
One thing I put out to look at, I think a cursory look, I'm still analyzing the data. But one of the things that I even found out was that if you put the votes of the parliamentary candidates, it's perhaps moving to 600 to 700,000 in excess of the presidential candidates' votes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That
quite strange.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That the individual candidates, MPs, were looking quite popular within their base. That is why we are surprised at the loss of even the MPs. Yes, that's why we are surprised. Randy, in my
because you guys were upbeat that even if you lost the presidential, you were going to upstage the NDC in the parliamentary. Because based on the letter, that was your view. That even when you were convinced that you were catching up, you were going to do a second round. I was wondering those who were doing that research for you, though, on the basis of what I was reading and seeing. But your position was that, look, you could move the thing to a second round, but in terms of a parliamentary, you could upstage the NDC.
Yes. And Randy, interestingly, after the election, I've gone to sit at some places just to listen. Randy, the level, the anger, I'm not too sure we anticipated this level of anger. Yes. In Ashanti.
Then you were not listening.
No, I'm saying that people were talking. You could hear radio, but the level of the anger.
No, you were listening too much to want to me radio and want to me TV. And
the level of the anger. I mean, sitting at just normal bars and joints and listening to conversations from ordinary people in Ashanti region. So one very...
But you said you were going to make 85%. That's when I realized that some wires were at the wrong places.
One elderly man told me that, Adomako Mensah, we did a special project. I'm sorry to tell you. The man told me that, don't worry. Mensah, don't worry. So you could see that they were quiet, but inwardly they had a very well thought through, determined mind. Either they don't go out to vote or they vote otherwise. So that's what I'm saying. We should take just...
Because you see, the data, you can dislike Musa Dankwa all you want or you can. But the data kept telling you that of the number of people who voted for Akufo-Addo in 2020, and they could be NPP and floating, a certain percentage, in most cases, 25%, 30%, 35%, are saying that they will vote for John Mahama or Alan Shermantin or Nana Kwame Bediako. There was that pattern every single month. Yet,
you see, Randy,
that thing you say, or whatever. How do you say that? What was that?
You are not moving.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Randy, if anybody who had observed my communication on radio, TV, I mean, Kanapa says something that always rings in my mind, that criticisms are unpaid consultancy. So you take it. I always kept telling people when I'm on radio and TV that I don't have any problem with Musa Dankwa's report. What is important is for you to take it and then find out exactly why he's saying what he's saying. Others didn't see it that way. But Randy, in my constituency, for instance, I didn't, in all Musa Dankwa's reports, he didn't zoom in. I didn't see a particular one in my constituency. But anybody in my constituency, Randy, in all humility, would be surprised to see the result they saw. Because I was so visible on the ground in the constituency. I visit the constituency almost every 2 weeks. And in all humility, I think that I've served them well, promoted the constituency, done some projects. And I felt I had positioned myself and the constituency, the party at the constituency so well that if not for anything at all, we should be hitting 60-65% or repeat what we did last year. But when the results started filtering in, you could see the level of, you could say, apathy, or people not going out to vote. In spite of all the logistical arrangements I put in place, getting people in Kumasi, indigenous from Kumasi to come and vote, from Accra to come and vote, So, as I said, we just have to take our time to reflect soberly on this. I've seen a lot of very strong words going. It's normal. I mean, when you lose an election in the next 3-4 weeks, you get this kind of rhetoric. But I'm just hoping that as time moves on, the party will sit down, reflect on it, and then see the way forward. When it has happened, we've lost the election. The extent of the loss was not anticipated. It's quite huge, very, very huge.
Yes, but you kept taunting John Mahama that a president who lost by 1 million votes has been roundly rejected. It's the worst performing.
Randy, I'm not sure you're expecting us to say otherwise. This politics. I mean, you expect the president to say that, yes, this is a one-term president. He's not going to come back again. I mean, I'm not sure you're expecting Nanado to say, John Mahama is going to win. He will not say that. But the results have proven otherwise. And so we all have to reflect soberly on it. And when you saw the president and Mr. Mahama, who had gone back to the Flagstaff House to start a whole transition process, and you look at the picture, I'm sure His Excellency Nana Adomako Mensah will reflect on some of the things that he had said during the electioneering campaign. And it's a lesson for all of us. For me, as a young politician, these are lessons that we are all learning from. I'm just hoping that this current government will do as they've said. Of course, as an opposition.
You are still the current government.
No. I mean the next government.
Yeah.
Of course, as an opposition, we'll continue to do our best to put them on their toes and to point out a few things that we think should be pointed out. But